Let's talk about abortion, okay? Because, yeah, Game of Thrones is starting to become too divisive anymore. I can't quite handle it. It's stressing me out. And I figured, you know what? Let me get back out to the garage. Let me do what I really enjoy doing. What I did pretty much all last summer, which is just come out to the garage, have a few drinks, and fucking say dumb shit in front of a camera. Riff, right? Speak on subjects that you are not qualified to speak on. That's what I'm doing here. Because it's what I feel like. So, and look, like I said, it's a less divisive issue than shit like season 8 of Game of Thrones, right? When I bring up abortion, people always respond really, it's even keel, good discussion. Nobody gets riled up. I mean, we can see it on social media. Everybody always gets along. It's something that just constantly it influences intelligent debate, right? We bring people together when we talk about issues like abortion. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to bring everybody together, right? Pro-life, pro-choice. Hey, we all get along, or at least it would be nice if we did. The thing is, I am neither pro-life nor pro-choice. I don't know what the fuck I am. Okay, Vox did a poll a few years back. I think it was like 2015 or something like that, where they framed the question, because we've seen the polls. You can go out and ask people, "Are you pro-life or are you pro-choice?" People are going to respond one way or another for the most part, right? But if you ask them, "Are you pro-life, pro-choice, or do you identify as neither? Are you somewhere in the middle?" 39% of Americans pick that one, right? They're not really sure. Why? It's a complicated issue. It's a nuanced issue. Yet for some fucking reason, when we go on social media, we see a lot of people who are really cocksure, for the lack of a... Well, there's actually... I was going to say, for the lack of a better term, there's probably a lot of better terms, but I just like saying cocksure. I heard Bertrand Russell said it once, and ever since then, I've been a big fan. So, confident. Very, very sure of themselves. It's a very black and white issue to many of us, especially people on the very far right, very far left, or not even the far right or far left, just people who identify as liberal or conservative. Conservatives are pro-life, liberals are pro-choice. And see, here's my fucking problem with it, okay? I've said it before in past videos, I don't like politics. I'm not part of a team. I don't identify with any of it. It's a very divisive thing, right? And it doesn't have to be. Issues like this is a big issue. We're talking about life. We're talking about women's right to their own autonomy. Autonomy. It's important. And we shouldn't be afraid to discuss it. And ideally, we should be learning a few things, right? But you're not going to learn a whole lot when your main objective is to post memes on social media that basically, it's just slinging shit at the other side. I am not a thing. Don't tell me what to do with my body. You hate women. You guys are baby murderers. You guys don't care about life. You're fucking heathens. You're Satan. That doesn't get you anywhere, right? And it's all bullshit anyway. The bottom line is perspective. That's the crux of it, right? It's perspective. This whole thing is like a false premise. You're either pro-life or you're pro-choice. You either hate women or you fucking hate babies. Neither of those things are true, right? I think in your heart of hearts, you conservatives out there, you know goddamn well if you took an infant, 2 months old, 6 months old, doesn't matter. You take this beautiful little fucking bundle of joy and hand it over to one of your liberal friends, if you have any, and say, "Hey, hold this thing, and then I want you to fucking go ahead and dash it against that rock there." They're not going to do it. They won't take any pleasure in doing it if you made them. Okay? They don't want to kill babies. Conversely, you liberals, go to one of your conservative friends, if you have any, and ask him to just go slap the shit out of that fucking chick standing over there at the fucking bar or at the fucking bank or wherever the fuck. Try to get inside their head. Look, the bottom line is, most people who identify as pro-life, they don't hate women. Most people who identify as pro-choice, they don't hate babies. It's a bullshit false dichotomy. I fucking hate it. Okay? The problem is, the key question is, when is a human a human? When does life really start? When does it go from a simple medical procedure to fucking murder? Right? That's the thing. And that's not an easy line to draw. And I think we really need to work hard to acknowledge that. It's not an easy line to draw. You know, the people on the right, you need to understand that your liberal friends, they don't have the same perspective. They're not viewing it as this little bundle of joy, as a human on the same level as a 2-year-old or 3-year-old or 50-year-old. Right? It's a cluster of cells. You know, at like 3 weeks old, that's not a human with any life experience or cognition, or, you know, they don't feel shit, understand shit. They're not self-aware. It's just a bundle of cells. That's how they view it. And they're not wrong. At the same time, you liberals, the conservatives, view that as a human being, every bit as much a human as you or I. And just because it lacks cognition, just because it lacks life experience, doesn't negate the fact that it's a human. Not a baby hippo, not a dog, a fucking human. And when you terminate the life of that living human, you are killing a living human. And they're not wrong either. Bottom line is, we as humans are just clusters of cells, ultimately spinning around on this blue ball in the vast expanse of the universe, hurling towards inevitable nothingness for a little while. That's what we all are. That's that. If you want to get down to the core of it, that's where we go. That's the logic. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Look, I've been doing a little bit of this. This is the main thing I like about coming out and doing these videos in the garage, is I just get to drink, talk, be an asshole. Okay? So if I start going off the rails... Anyway, so it's a matter of framing the issue. You know, when you frame it as, hey, you know, I'm going to beat a dead horse. You know what I'm saying? So here's my thing. Is it murder? Okay, is abortion murder? Is it murder at 3 weeks old? Is it murder at 24 weeks old? Okay, and what makes it murder? What doesn't make it murder? I don't know. So let me just paint this scenario. I'm walking down the street. I'm 38. I'll be 39 in a couple weeks. I'm walking down the street. I walk past an overpass or a high rise or something, and you know, somebody drops a fucking, you know, 2-ton bag of dildos on my head and puts me into a fucking coma, right? And I'm laying in the hospital, and I'm a man of modest means. It's a real challenge for my family to put up the money to keep me alive. But let's just say, hey, the doctors come in and say, good news, he's gonna make it. He's gonna make a full recovery. You know, that fucking bag of dildos did some serious damage, but not so much that he won't come out of it. It's gonna be X number of months, X number of years, but he'll be fine. Meanwhile, they have to keep forking over dough, fucking putting themselves in the fucking poorhouse. It's a major inconvenience on them. Meanwhile, I'm laying there a vegetable. You know, I have no cognition. I'm not aware of anything that's going on around me. You could stick a knife in my fucking head. I wouldn't know it, wouldn't feel it, and that would be the end of it. You know, if you were to come pull the plug, stick a knife in my head, drop more dildos on me, is that murder? Or is that okay? You know? I don't know. I'd say it's probably murder. But is it for the greater good? That's the question. Ultimately, by the way, if that ever happens to me, I would urge you, please don't pull the plug. You know, just because I can't feel it, don't see it, don't know it, I'd rather live. If they can tell me that I'm going to make a full recovery, just give me the chance to come out of it. But that's what we're talking about when we're talking about a fetus. Yeah, it might not have any cognition. It might not have self-awareness at the time, but that is a future candidate of society, and it is a human. So when you terminate, I know I'm coming off very pro-life here, by the way, and I am pro-life. Let's just put that out there. I'm pro-life, and I'm pro-choice. I'm copping out, and I'll get to let me flesh this out. So yeah, there's no way of getting around it. You know, you're fucking killing a person, right? Are you okay with killing people? Are you okay with killing innocent people? Me? I'm okay with killing innocent people sometimes, I guess. I think you have to be. I think if you want to be consistent and honest in your logic, you're not doing yourself any favors by denying the humanity of the child. Okay, that is a child. Whether it's, again, I mean, yeah, it may not be viable outside the womb, but it's a human. It's a living human with a heartbeat, brain activity. It's It's all going on, right? So if you want to say, hey, you know what, that thing's, again, it's not, it doesn't know that it's being killed. You're just stopping something before it starts. Okay, that's fine. That's true. Probably. Of course, then we have the discussion about, late term abortions, which is something that's been trying to be pushed, and that's a whole other discussion when we're talking about like third trimester and shit. I don't see how, but again, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Because really, you want to talk about life experience. You want to talk about cognition. I mean, fuck, a newborn. They don't have any life experience. They don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, they can feel pain. We know that when we circumcise them and they fucking shriek in utter agony. So they can feel pain. But if it's over and out real quick, who gives a fuck? I don't know. So that's the thing. I don't know. Where am I going with this? So we spend enough time talking about the fetus. Okay. Let's talk about the woman, because that's another big part of the equation. This is a woman. This is, my body. I should have the right to decide, right? And they should. I think that's a decision, because it's so complex. That's a decision that every potential mother needs to make for herself. Okay, and I don't think that, you always hear I don't want an old white man telling me what I can or can't do with my body. And that's fair. I'm not interested, as a kind of old white male, in telling any woman what she should do with her body. Although, some of you chicks out there with the whole fucking blue hair and just too many tattoos anymore, that's not my thing. But I'm not about to stop you, That's just my opinion. I'm not gonna tell you should or shouldn't. I have my opinions, but I was going to say I'll keep those to myself, but I think it's a little too late for that. Anyway, I digress. I'm not interested in telling you. That's a decision that I think ultimately that's what it comes down to. Every woman needs to be able to make that decision for herself, because it's so nuanced and so complex. But ultimately, you need to understand that you are killing a person. Yes, you have the right to your own autonomy. You have the right to your own body, but there is another body inside that body. Don't minimize that. I don't want to minimize anything here. I don't want to minimize the difficulty of the decision that woman has to make. Okay, and I don't think, on the other hand, I don't think they should minimize the level to what they're doing, the level of what they're doing. Right? And to you conservatives out there, though, let me just say this, because I feel like I've been taking the piss out of the liberals here a little bit. So now I got to be fair. I got to take the piss out of the conservatives. George Carlin had a bit years and years ago. Conservatives, they care awful lot about the unborn. They care an awful lot about the fetus. But once that fetus becomes a fucking baby, once they're out there in the world, you're on your own. Strap in, motherfucker, because life sucks. And we're not interested in any, putting forward our hard-earned tax dollars to help you with any fucking government social programs. Because let's face facts. Most people that are having abortions are either living in poverty, or they are young people who made a dumb fucking decision that they can't really take back. So does society look better or worse if we mandate that they have to see all these women have to see that pregnancy through? Does society look better or worse? Now, of course, in a perfect world, abortion wouldn't exist. Everybody would just fall in love and get married first, and then have sex, and then have kids, and live happily ever after. But that's not fucking reality, and it never has been, and it never fucking will be. Okay? So, take that fucking bullshit out of the equation. You want to preach abstinence, go for it. And if it works, in some cases, that's fantastic. But that ain't most people. Fucking alcohol's a thing, sex is a thing, and I tell you what's more intoxicating than alcohol is sex, right? We all know it. Okay, your logic, your judgment skills go right out the fucking window once you see a pair of titties, or once you see a big throbbing dick or something. I don't fucking, you know what I'm saying, right? You make dumb decisions, and I'm not gonna lie and say that I ain't been there before, right? There may or may not have been a broken condom or two, and I may or may not have dodged a few bullets and gotten lucky, But who knows what decision I might have been forced to try to influence had I been less lucky. So yeah, a little bit of hypocrisy there. Yeah, we appreciate and value the sanctity of life, but once that life becomes like a walking around fucking person, we don't really give a fuck what happens to you after that. Not enough, at least, to fucking put forward our hard-earned tax dollars. So that's criticism toward the right that I think tracks in a lot of cases. Not in every case, but in a lot of cases. So fuck you too. Yeah, I don't know. ultimately where I come down on this, I guess you could say, I mean, the other thing is too, before I forget, the religious shit, that always comes into it. The sanctity of life, and that's an argument that has to be just thrown out the fucking window, because religion's a very personal thing. Talk about perspective. We can't, even the fucking Christians can't agree. You got the Baptists, Protestants, fucking Lutherans, Catholics, fucking whatever. You can't even agree on shit. Not everybody fucking sees things that way. The sanctity of life is something that's in the mind of the person that believes in that bullshit. So, and I'm not somebody who does. I'm an atheist for all intents and purposes. Maybe an agnostic would be a better term, but I don't believe in any of that shit. But at the same time, I still do believe that a human life is valuable. I just also believe that it's, you can make the justification to snuff out that human life in certain circumstances. Plenty of us believe in the death penalty, right? Plenty of us believe in pulling the plug on somebody who's a vegetable. It gets tricky, and I can feel myself getting drunker and going down like a dark path that's going to get me in trouble. So I'll probably just put the kibosh on the fucking rest of the video here, and say that ultimately at the end of it, if you want to know my unsolicited opinion, I am, there was a scientist, I can't remember his name, fucking professor, who was also an atheist, very left-leaning atheist professor. And I'm going to rip him off and say that I am pro-life. Morally, I'm pro-life. In a perfect world, like I said, abortion wouldn't exist. But politically, I don't think that, changing the laws, just, flushing Roe v. Wade down the toilet, I don't think that really works for the betterment of society either. So, and, So I'm pro-life and pro-choice. I don't know what the fuck I am, I mean, I'm sure one of you fucking partisans out there that's smarter than I am, and I know there are many of you, you could sit me down and have a conversation and swing me one way, and then somebody from the other side could swing me the other way. But this is generally where I wind up. This is my default. I don't know what the fuck I am. All I know is that the fucking memes are annoying. Your conversations are annoying. It's not a black and white issue. Stop fucking treating it as such, and have a nice day.